Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk.
Alright guys, thanks again for tuning in. I just wanted to mention that I've decided, you remember, it's all about deciding what you're going to do. You got to decide what you want to do. I decide I want to eat the sandwich. I decide I want to drive over here. I decide I want to go over there. I've decided that I'm going to start doing a podcast too. Now, I was going to replace what I'm doing on YouTube just with podcasts. I've just become a little bit more fascinated with podcasts and thought maybe that's a route. But I want to know from you, do you like that idea? Do you want me to do a podcast as opposed to doing it through the YouTube? Maybe there's a way I can do both if I'm recording and doing it at the exact same time. I don't know, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. With that said, I also just want to mention here that what I've also decided I want to do, I have a studio out here in Simi Valley where I live, and it's another art sort of school for teaching kids out here, but I have a classroom there. And in that classroom, there's, let me see, 3, 6, 9, there's 12 seats, there's 12 desks there. And what I thought I wanted to do, I wanted just to, I do a lot of workshops, I do a lot of teaching, and what I wanted to do is that my wife just came in here, and now she closed the door. And what I wanted to do was just offer a free just insight into things that I've been working on, my mindset in the business of art. So it goes into like the business mindset, a little, things that we talk about here, but also just getting with a presentation just to almost, it's like a, I don't know how to describe it other, almost you'd have to show up. It would only be about maybe an hour to an hour and a half long. It's just be an enlightening, engaging, motivational, just trying to help you think about things, having the right mindset. And I want to offer it to you guys just for free, more so just to get feedback at the end. It's almost like beta testing, so to speak, but it's been something that I've been working on, and I thought, it'd be great if I could get people who would be interested to come in and just take 12 people who's interested. Now, here's the catch. The thing is that what I'm going to do is it's going to be free, but I'm going to charge $10. You go, what? How can it be free but charge $10? The thing is, the $10, when you show up, I would physically hand you back the $10. The reason I'm going to charge the $10 is for this reason and this one reason only. In my past experience, what I discovered, and it's just the unfortunate nature of the beast, when you offer something for free, everyone just, hey, I'll take it, I want it, give it, give it, give it, gimme, 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 gimme. They just sort of want it for free. And they'll sign up, and what I found would happen is people, even though they committed and they said they were going to go to an event that I did because I was offering it for free, they didn't show up. So therefore, the people who wanted to come couldn't come because the other people didn't show up. So I thought, how can I change this sort of situation? I think maybe if you have incentives, so to speak, or you've committed to something, and and that's where money sort of talks. If you're willing to make the commitment and say, hey, I want to hear what he has to say, and that'll be interesting, and I'd love to go, and I'd love to participate, I'll give $10, but just know if you don't show up, you lose your $10. Is the $10 worth it to you or not? This is something where I hope it is. I hope $10 is worth something to you, because $10 is still a lot of money. I don't care where you live in the world, $10 is $10. But I thought maybe I'll do that. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys are watching now, this is the first time you're sort of, I haven't posted it anywhere, so it's just for my right now my YouTube audience until the end of the week. By Friday, I'm going to just put it out there on social media. But just to you guys, if you live locally, or you're willing, like I say, you're willing to drive 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, which I think, that's anything like that's worth it to me. That drive, that commitment, and this is where you're making a commitment. What I need you to do is just email me, and in the subject, write, "I wish to attend your workshop." I wish to attend your workshop. And then I'll tell you what to do from there, just to pay the $10, make that commitment. And then on the day that you show up, I'll have your name. Again, it's going to be the first 12 people, and I'll get back to you. And if you don't hear back from me, then unfortunately, the seats have already been taken. And then on the day of the event, I'll give you your $10 back. How does that sound? Okay, so if that's something you're interested in doing, I'd like to attend your workshop. Is that what I said the first time? I think so. All right, so on to bigger, better, more exciting things here. What I wanted to discuss with you guys today is just still a couple of things. It has to do with your artwork and the value and what you're doing. And I'm going to read to you just something someone had written me, a client wishing to get some work from me, and I want to share that with you. But I also just want to write down, just tell you things that I've written down. Okay, now I wrote this down, and people ask me, where do you come up with your art talk topics from and all that? And in all honesty, it comes in all places. I could be driving, I'm in the shower, I'm on the toilet, I'm watching TV, I'm watching a program. When I came up with this, I was painting. I was painting my downstairs kitchen and family room. So not painting for artwork related, but I was still painting. And I'm like, the Karate Kid, and I'm just, like painting the fences there. And I was doing that. And I was thinking about this, and I thought, that might be something good to mention to you guys. And what it was, and I'll just read it, how I wrote it. It's very shorthand, and then I'll explain what I'm sort of saying. So I just wrote down, every trial moves you ahead. What people don't realize, what is benefiting them at this moment with this choice or place you are in, it's all the seed. And so what I'm basically was just thinking in my mind at that is, no matter where you are in, your situation, whatever it is that you're going through right now, whatever it is that you're doing, you just look at everything as the seed, that it's all beneficial. There is no right, there is no wrong, there is no failure, there is no success. It all sort of like is united. It just becomes one thing. It becomes a whole, and that's what we are. We're just a whole, and we're going through this trial and error, but the most important thing, of course, is to try and do things and not worry, again, like I've said 1,000 times, don't worry about the expectations of the result or what the outcome's going to be of anything. Just partake in it, participate in it, whatever it is. And so realizing that everything that you're involved in right now, I don't care if it's not the job that you want to do, but for me, when I was drawing my caricatures in theme parks, or I was in some, shitty location drawing caricatures in some dive bar someplace, all that stuff, even though those certain moments may not have been ideal, and I may have come out of that going, God, that was a horrible day. I didn't even make a penny. I drew one person all day. What a waste of a day. And believe me, I had those things go through my head. It wasn't a waste of the day when I look back at it, right? Because again, it's all those experiences, and it's all the seed that's planted. So when you just think about that everything you're involved in right now, those great jobs, those bad jobs, the lack of work, the abundance of work, whatever it may be, whatever you're going through, your living situation, it's all part of that seed moving you forward. As long as you keep that mindset that I'm still moving forward, I'm still going. And with that, I just kind of wanted to mention that, like thinking about the seed, when you think about everything, right? So you think about, first there's the seed, and then there's the fruit. You can't have the fruit without the seed. You got to have the seed, all right? Then there's the battery, and then there's the function. So I can't have my little go-kart or my little toy or my little talking doll work unless I have a battery in there. Unless I have my flashlight's not going to work without that battery. So it's the same sort of thing that you're kind of going on here. It's always the seed. There's always going to be that something that's going to make something else work. All right, so if you're not willing, and that may be the time and effort and energy, and if you're not willing to be the battery, if you're not willing to be the seed, if you're not willing to put in that, think about all the work that's needed, to make that function happen, then it's not going to happen for you. Okay, so just like the seed, what precedes the building? The blueprint. You don't just want to put up the building. You got to have the blueprint. Then you got the plug. What makes the light work? The plug. I gotta plug it in, unless it's battery operated. I keep saying battery and then I go battery. I mean, they say the English side of me and goes in. I'm a very confused individual. So then you got the blueprint precedes the building. So it's all about what precedes. What precedes your job in the animation industry? What precedes your job working as an illustrator for advertising companies? What precedes, you name it, your comic book, whatever it is. It's these things you got to think about, okay? What precedes the product? Before I eat a cake, before I have whatever I'm going to eat, my lasagna, my whatever it is, the ingredients, right? So again, the preceding ingredient, there's always got to be something. In a sense, what is it I'm thinking? It's just like, it's like you can't have the cart before the horse, right? So the horse needs to come before the cart. You got to have something to pull that along, right? If we're looking at that type of metaphor. You first crawl before you then walk. The idea comes before the plan, not vice versa. Okay? So again, keep thinking about this. There's all these things that precede. So your education, your willingness to bust your ass and just draw and improve upon your, say, whatever you're struggling with to get there, is all gonna precede that. It's the same thing with people, and I've said it, where people with their paintings and they want to be concept artists and they just want to rush to the painting, and they're doing the painting and they're coloring it, but they don't have the seed. They don't have the blueprint. They don't have the composition. They don't have the design. They don't have the construction. They're missing all these elements. So everything else after that falls flat because they're too much in a rush just to get to the finished product. And that's just the nature of our generation now, where everything's got to be just, zippity zapped and just going, okay? Fundamentals. The fundamentals precede the design. You got to understand the fundamentals of design before you can start designing, because if you don't know what's going to be wrong with something, how can you fix it? It comes down to the awareness. You got to have this true understanding of the awareness and being conscious of it and knowing what's missing in your own artwork, and once again, knowing what it is that you're actually really trying to attain, all right? Stop looking, for everyone's approval all the time. This is an epidemic. It's just gone horribly, horribly wrong, where people are not even moving forward because of waiting on someone's approval to get them there. So they feel, and I just had this conversation with a guy I met, came down to my drawing class, my figure drawing, uninstructed out here. His name was Paul. Came from San Francisco. Drove down from San Francisco to come to the drawing thing that I had for a 3-hour drawing session, uninstructed, just to draw, but just because his intention was, I want to talk to me. He wanted to talk to me and ask me questions, and he took the initiative to do that, and that's the driving force. Like, I would drive and go anywhere to meet the artists that I want. I've gone to New York to meet the artists that I wanted to meet. These are the sort of commitment. And so with him, we got into this discussion, and it's talking about, should I go to this convention? Should I go to CTN Expo to meet people, just to see what they have to say? And the answer is no. The answer is no. First of all, CTN, like I mentioned before, it's not this job fair. You're not going to get a job there. People are there to sell their artwork, sell their products, do their thing. It's the convention. It's gone horribly wrong. I've talked about that in another video. You guys know me. I'm not a supporter of CTN and what they're doing and what they're trying to do and how the abuse of artists that have gone through the realm of that. And just, it's not, you don't spend $400, $300 to get a ticket to see if someone's going to like your work. You can meet these guys at Comic-Con. You can meet them at DesignerCon. You can meet them at WonderCon. You can meet all these artists who are out there selling their product and doing their thing. You can contact them. You just got to put in the effort and find out where they're going to be. And in all honesty, most of the time, you're going to be able to connect with them in a lot easier way. You know, because sometimes, you know, at a convention, especially like CTN, most of the people there are exhausted from just looking at portfolios of everyone's portfolio all day. They actually start to get frustrated and don't want to look at them anymore and aren't giving real opinions anymore, and just maybe hoping that, you know, again, you know, something might happen from that. But here's the thing, it's just like, it's taking the initiative, whether you find that you discover that artist you like, you go through their website, you send them a personal email, you touch base with them somehow, you hear of them, they're going to be doing something at some event or something that's not going to cost you $300 to get into. Why are you going to pay $300 to meet an artist? You know, that's ridiculous. You know, you don't, when there's so many outlets where most of these guys are happy to meet you, happy to talk to you, you don't need to go that route. So be careful with that. All right. So, you know, coming back down to it, it just comes down to all these things that are going to precede, you know, that just, you know, really trying to find out, get that seed planted first, make sure whatever you're doing is sort of leading up. Okay. Now I'm just going to skip into another subject here. All right. And this is about just the value of your work and what's going to happen. Now, my opinion on free artwork is, you know, we've heard people have mentioned that, you know, they got their start oftentimes by doing something free. They went to the local they drew for their local newspaper, they went to there could be something, and they did it for free to gain experience. You do that sort of stuff when you're 16. You're going to give you're looking for that experience when you're 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. That's when when people say the experience, looking for that, those are the times you're like, wow, I got an opportunity to work for this guy and help him out. He's not paying me, but God, what a great experience. That's when you're doing it at that age, but not when you're 23 years old, not when you're 25 years old, not when you're 30 years old. You don't do the free things for people, because what you're building up and this is the expectation that everyone has. They're just getting free work, and what people are getting now is free development. Free development, the core of the existence of our industry, of the entertainment industry, is the development of the designs. Why are you giving that away for free? Because someone wants to just see if you're capable of doing that style. You never do that. And it's going to, and this is an industry you want to work in. You are going to be a part of that seed that is going to plume into the pure destruction of this industry as a whole in time. Okay, if you go in that way. So I just kind of want to share with you. So someone had contact. Now, China is getting, they've been in the business for a while, but they're going gangbusters. They are investing money like there is no tomorrow in the entertainment industry and animation. They want a piece of the pie, you know, and hey, more power to them. And, you know, this is great. You know, it's a beautiful, wonderful thing. But knowing that there's such an abundance of work out there now, there's so many people looking for content on all these platforms, still be careful. So anyway, this company from China had contacted me, reputable company, and they're asking me, you know, I responded to them. They say, thanks for replying so quickly. First, I will show you the detailed information of the film. What they need is 6 to 7 animal characters who are 2 feet standing at this early stage, similar to the animals of Zootopia. Oftentimes when people are working on projects, developments, they have an idea of where they're going for. So it's a great thing to have, to say, we're kind of looking for something like Zootopia. That makes me realize that I'm not going to draw something like SpongeBob, because I know what they're looking for. So it's always great to know someone's intent or what they're doing. The work The work time will be from now to the end of August. It will be a 3D film. The design of characters will be Disney style. Okay, so these guys are looking for this sort of great. That's great. I know that I'm not going to do a Nickelodeon style. I'm not going to do Cartoon Network. I got an essence. All of a sudden, the whole big picture is being drawn. Secondly, I have some questions for you. Would you please send me your updated CV? A CV is like a little bit of an extended resume. It's a resume, but a little bit beyond. You tell of any awards or other things you've done, a little bit more detailed in that realm. So that's what a CV is, if you're not familiar with that term. Then they ask, please let me know your rate, okay, for that. I have seen most of your experience are related to TV animation. Are there any experience of you in animation films? Okay, so I have had experience. They're more familiar with my TV side, so I share with them just some of the movies that I've worked on, I've done development for. And then the last thing that they asked me here was, could you accept a free test? That was the killer for me. Could you accept a free test? No! No! I will not accept a free test. And that, and I answered politely, but no. That is, you got to take pride. You know how much effort is to the test. What they're looking for is for you to come up with a character, show them a character that fits, like, oh my God, he nailed it. He did such a great job. It's wonderful. Look how beautiful he's done that design. You know what that entails? That entails me researching Zootopia. That entails me researching Disney style. That entails me researching the animal that they're even looking for. That entails me just spending time just roughing out design. So all of a sudden, I'm 6 hours of my own time in the hole just to try to put my good foot forward. Because if I did that in 10 minutes, they're going to have a shitty drawing. And they're not going to want to hire me anyway. So now I've just given them a concept for nothing. And this is where the development aspect comes in. All of a sudden, you're showing these guys all the development. So now they've gone to 20 different artists. They got 20 different free tests, free designs, free images from these people that they're going to pin up on their wall. And they get to decide, what style do we like? What style do we want? Hey, we like the hairstyle on that one. Ooh, that artist, they did a great costume design. Look at that. I like the way that they approach this. Why give that away? So an industry that thrives on development, where a lot of money and where artists earn their living off of development is completely being thrown out the window because someone wants to accept a free test, gives them a free test. And the answer is no. No, you're not giving a free test, and you write them back and say, unfortunately, I'm unable to give a free test, but I would love to work on the project. If you have the budget and you're willing to pay me for my design, I'd be more than happy. And that's the reality. So don't be bamboozled by this. Don't think that this is going to be your in. And I don't even care really if they've approached you and you are 15 and you're talented. When it's a movie studio like that, you're not getting an experience. You're just giving away free stuff. Experience is when you get to go into a great artist. And what made me think of it was I saw a documentary with Eldon Didini. If you guys aren't familiar with Eldon Didini, Eldon Didini, Didini was a great artist, great cartoonist, Playboy artist, phenomenal, where he got his first experience working at the local newspaper, and he was doing it for free because he went there for the experience, but he was in-house, and it taught him how to meet deadlines, and it taught him how to just do layout, and it taught him all these things because that's real experience. Not when you're doing something in the comfort of your own home and just doing someone a free job and then handing it to them somewhere off in internet land and thinking that you're getting any sort of experience that way. That's no experience. You're getting experience when you go to the coffee shop and draw that person sitting there drinking their coffee and reading, an article. That's experience. You're getting experience when you go to a life drawing class and draw that model who takes all those great poses and is rotating, and you get to draw for 3 hours. That's experience. Okay, so don't fall for this stuff, and I wanted to share that with you because it's so important, and I hope that things will start changing, and I hope that these people will stop asking for this free stuff. It's disgusting. I can't stand it. It's my biggest pet peeve in this industry. I remember the most beautiful thing that ever happened to me, where I was so like admired Nickelodeon when I was hired I wasn't even hired yet at Nickelodeon to do Danny Phantom, and they paid me for my test. They saw my portfolio. Butch Hartman, the creator, saw my portfolio. He knew that, hey, this guy's probably capable of doing this. He didn't know me for Adam. And I went and met with him, and he said, they said, we'd love you to take a stab at this. And then they paid me. And that's how it should be. And that's how all these studios should be. And maybe if you are a studio and you do watch this Art Talk and you're in that position, maybe you want to change things. Think about the respect you're going to get of the artist. Think that has stuck with me. It's been, I don't know how many years it's been, 15, 13, 12 years. I don't know how many years it's been, but that will never leave my mind because I respect that. And so will every artist that you ever give a test to and say, hey, we love your stuff. We saw your portfolio. We'd like you to take a stab at this. We're going to pay you for it. I don't even care if it's you break it down into an hourly rate, whatever you're going to do, but just it's part of the respect of the industry and a love for it. There's too many people in this industry who just don't give a rat's ass about this industry. There's too many people who are running the development in this industry who are their credentials. They were lawyers and they're in charge of animation. And they don't care about animation. And I've ran into some of these guys. I've met with them. I've heard their conversations. I remember being in a development one time, a long time ago at Disney, and this development person who was listening to pitches said, I don't really care about animation. I don't even like it. The dream job is live action. And I'm going to pitch you my show and you don't give a rat's ass about this medium or this form? Get out. Get out. Disney's done a great thing right now. They got a great guy running their development department there, Shane Prigmore. This guy loves animation. Animation runs through this man's blood and his brains. And this is a guy who's in charge of overlooking stuff. That's the way it should be. People in development should love this medium. You guys are going to get so much more better product. You guys are going to get awesome stuff. You're not going to throw away pitches that are brilliant, that all of a sudden one studio will go, we don't want it. Another studio who has more of a creative eye will go, oh my God, why'd they give that up? It's the thing happened with Adventure Time. I think actually Nickelodeon gave away Adventure Time, didn't want it, and it went over to Cartoon Network with new eyes, new people, the people who had a vision a bit. So hey, I'm just saying, listen, I'm shooting myself in the foot all different places here and there, but I'm passionate about this and I care about it. And I want things to hopefully change, and maybe my voice will change things someday down the road. I know that I don't have, tons of, people ask me, hey, you should have more listeners, more viewers. I know that I don't. I don't have tons of subscribers or tons of listeners. There's about 1,500 of you every week that tune in, but I don't care. I love that you guys are diehard, and I do this for you guys. And even if there was 10 of you, because what's happening is you guys want to hear the message, and it's making that sort of I don't know, impact, if it is, on you guys. And as long as it's doing that, that's what matters. It's just that one little person, just to hear something that spreads it to someone else. That's all anyone could ask for. That's all I sort of really hope for. That I know that I'm not talking in thin air. I know that, how much it helps you guys. You guys have told me. You guys have met me. You guys have seen me at places. And I hear it. And I'm grateful for that. And that's all that matters. And I think it's just like, so just the reality is, hopefully it'll spread somehow. If not through me and maybe my podcast, who knows. Woo! There you have it, guys. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for partaking. Thanks for listening. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care. Hello, this is Steven, and I just wanted to tell you about this cool thing that I'm doing right now through my website at silvertunes.com. It's a Skype mentorship. In a sense, what I want to do is just talk to you, meet you, tell me about things that are happening in your life. See if there's anything that I could do to help you. I can look over your artwork, do your portfolio, and just maybe try to push you in the right direction that you want to take your life and your journey. All right, so you can go to silvertunes.com, go to classes, click on mentorship, and you can learn all about it. We can try to arrange a time, set up a date. It doesn't matter where you live in the world. And I just wanted to make it just very affordable, just to open it up, because I love doing this. I love meeting people from all over the planet. It's a really cool thing, and with this technology, why not? So that's it. Thanks. Whoa! Hey! Go back. Go back. Great, go back. Go back. Ha ha ha!